This idea of having zones of urgency is going to radically change the way that you look at your home. You look at the most important places in your home and how you can change them up to work for you, as opposed to what I was always doing, which was making my life a lot harder. So let's talk about these 4 different zones, and we're gonna start with the most important, right? Those things that we need every single day, all of the time. So we're gonna call that zone number 1. When you are in zone number 1, these things that you need, like your keys or your phone, the things that you need to walk out the door with every time that you leave your house are gonna be in zone 1, because they're gonna be things that you can automatically find without any effort at all. When I'm talking about zone number 1, for me, it basically combines my phone, my keys, and my purse. Those are the 3 things that I personally need every time I leave. I also include my family. If you know me, I have a husband and I have my daughter. And I've realized that the easier I make the things that we absolutely have to have, those zone 1 things, the more often, not all the time, but the more often we're actually gonna have what we need when we walk out the door. So one thing I really realized when my daughter started school a couple years ago is that I kept forgetting to grab her book bag. So in that zone 1, you wanna make sure that these items that you need every single day urgently are so easy to access that there is nothing blocking you from remembering them. So for me, the keys go right near the door on a hook, and I always put my keys right there when I walk in the door. Now, you may ask, why do you do that? Well, because the way my brain works, and I think a lot of us, I need to see the things that are actually going to need to come with me, or I'm going to forget them. If you knew me several years ago, before we moved in this house, we had to break in the back window at our old bungalow almost every other week because I would forget my keys. So with that in mind, the other things I really need are the things that I'm going to put in the jar right by my door. So my phone, when I'm not using it, is going to go right by the door so that I remember to grab it when I'm leaving. Or if I have to charge it, I'm gonna charge it right near the door, so I'm more likely to remember to grab it. So what I've had to really decide are what are the most important things that I just can't forget. The bag, you can also see I put hooks right behind me, right near the door, that do not have any barriers. So that's the big thing I want you to walk away from when you're looking at your most urgent items that you need every single day is, am I putting barriers in between me and actually grabbing that item? Years before, I used to put my bag and my daughter's book bag in the closet behind me so that nothing would be laid out, and I felt like it looked a lot clearer and nicer. But what I found is that often I would forget to grab that book bag, or I'd forget to grab my purse when I walked out the door, and then it was just one more thing to have to come back in. So if you have items that you are often forgetting, maybe there's some kind of barrier, even if it's just a closet door or a curtain, that is stopping you from the automatic, I'm seeing this item, I have to grab this item. That is zone number 1. So let's move on to zone number 2. So you might think zone number 2, okay, it's just the next best things, right? But what I want you to really pay attention in your next zone of things that you're gonna organize together is I want you to find those things that you need urgently when you need them. So you might not need these every single day, but when you need them, right? So for me, I have that second basket right inside of our front door closet. And in that second basket, I have things like our book bag for when we go to King's Dominion or we're going out on a small trip for the day and we need that book bag. I also have things like our bouncy socks that when we go to places like Sky Zone or Surge, which are like big trampoline parks, if you know what I'm talking about, we need those socks. And I found that when I put the socks in our drawers, we'd often forget them as we're walking out the door. But when you need those items, like the socks, like the bags that we use on very special occasions, but they're urgently needed, I wanted them to be in a place that I automatically saw, I knew, and I could use them quickly without having to run all around the house trying to look for that particular item. So those things are going to be different for everybody. Maybe for you, it's going to be things like batteries, where you don't need them every day, but when you need them, right? When the remote is not turning on anymore, we need that item urgently. And you don't want to have to try to look all around your house looking for that particular item. So that's going to be zone number 2. And you want to make sure that those items are easy to access, but maybe not in your direct line of sight. Okay, so I promise you these next 2 are also really important, but I have to ask, if you like learning about minimalism, decluttering, and organizing your life, then please hit the subscribe button and join this amazing community here. And also, if you are already decluttering and organizing here with us, then throw a heart emoji down below to let us know that we are all in this together. But let's keep going, because these 4 zones will rock your world. So the next thing I want you to think about as you're going through your house and moving things around so that they have a good home is, I want you to pay attention to those things in group number 3 that you need, but they're not urgent. They are not something that you're going to freak out, I've got to have this right now, like I'm running out the door and I need my bag or I need my jump socks. So I'm thinking about things like underneath my sink cabinet is where I keep things like my sewing kit and our scissors and our lighter when we might light birthday candles. Those are the items that, yes, I do need them on occasion, right? Not all the time, but they are in a place that is out of sight, out of mind. They're not directly in my face. So I used to actually keep those zone number 3 items like my scissors, like my kit of sewing stuff in the closet behind me, but I just found that it kind of crowded that area. And I wanted to make sure that my zone 3 and zone 2 items weren't getting confused with each other, because in that closet right behind me are the things that I really need when I need them. And those other items like our scissors, sewing kits, what you might have in your junk drawer, those are things that I've put in another basket under the sink. Now, remember, while you are gathering these things that are going to be in your zone number 3, it's all going to be different for different people. But something really important I want you to walk away with as you're thinking about zone number 3 is, are these items things I'm using every single day? Then maybe that's not the right place for them. Maybe they need to be a little bit easier to access for me. If it fits in zone number 3, it's not things that you're using every single day, because they're going to be out of sight, out of your way, but you know where they are. That is the easiest kind of way of thinking about them for me. So you can easily use this rule in your bedroom, in your kids' room, downstairs, in your laundry room. Those items that you don't use all the time, like maybe the stain remover. You don't use that every time you do laundry. So let's not put that directly in our face in the front as the first basket or the first box that's right in our face as we're doing laundry. We can put that further down the line. Thinking about my daughter's closet, zone number 3 are going to be things like the upcoming season's clothes that I know I've hung on to. They're up out of my face, out of the way, but I know where they are and they're all collected in the same basket. So they're easy to find, but they're not urgent. I would love to know what your opinions are for these zones. And also I would love to know what you put in your different zones. I think a lot of us are actually using these zones. We just don't call them anything, right? But as we are organizing our life and really as we're minimizing the things that we have, we realize that it's easier to find homes for things, and slowly the idea of these 4 zones will really help you to stop losing your stuff. At least they really help me. So the 4th zone is obviously going to be the things that we don't really need very often, but we do want to keep them. Our zone number 4 is focused downstairs in our utility room / our laundry room. And it's a closet that holds a lot of items that we do need on that rare occasion, like the screws that we don't want to lose. We're gonna hang up new pictures maybe, and we don't want to lose these things right now. Or currently we are fixing up our home to possibly, that's in quotations, move in the future. And so we're trying to fix up some places around our house, but we don't need the paintbrush out all the time or the paint colors we're using all the time. So those don't need to even be in zone 3 because we're not using them right now or even this next week or month. There are things that we are using throughout this next year, so we don't want to get rid of them, but they don't need to be in the main areas of our house. So as you are organizing the things around your house, this really helped me to put things into categories. Finding the right place to put things is going to be key for you, especially if you are having a hard time organizing your home or even figuring out how to begin an organizational process of your home. Take those things out that you are noticing you use all of the time. And I want you to put a basket that doesn't have a lid in that zone 1 area. Whether you're like me and you kept forgetting your bag or kept forgetting your keys, and every time you walk out the door, you don't have your phone, which still happens on occasion, but it's okay. It's gotten a lot better. Don't put anything that has any restrictions. Then in zone number 2, these are our urgent items that we need when we need them. So look around your house. What are the things that you don't want to forget? Whether it's you have kids and you want to make sure that you have those cleats and that athletic gear where you can see and have it, but you don't need to look at it every day because it's only on Fridays, right? So my daughter's gymnastics stuff is not right there in our zone 1. It's in our zone 2 where we can easily find it when we need it on Fridays. And that zone number 3 are those things that you need on occasion, but not urgently. If you're like me and a button falls off, I'm not one to fix the button immediately. It might take me a month or 2 to fix the button on the sleeve of a shirt, but it's helpful to know when my sewing kit is and the scissors are all of the time. And so that when that time arises that I do want to fix it, yes, those things are occasional items, but I know where they are. And of course, that zone number 4 again are those things that you use on a rare occasion, but you're not ready to get rid of them. You still need them in your life. And even if you are minimizing and you call yourself a minimalist, we still have those items that we might not use all the time, but we do want to hang on to for our own reasons. And those should be out of sight, out of mind, out of your normal core area, but able to access and you know where they are at any given point. These 4 zones of urgency are going to radically change the way you organize. As someone who, hands up, is a not great organizational person, and I really struggled with it for a long time, figuring out what I needed to stay organized and what I needed in order to have a home that functioned. Thinking about our things instead of where should my scissors go, think what zone should these go in? How often do I use this item? And am I making it easy or hard to find the things that I really need? All right, friends, I love this strategy. I love talking about organization because I struggled with it for so many years. And it is actually really life-changing, though it seems silly, but it's actually very life-changing. You don't have to search for your items all of the time. All right, friends, if you enjoyed this video, then I guarantee you're going to love to learn a little bit more here and a little bit more here and continue your journey of minimalism and decluttering, because every little step you take is going to radically improve the way you live. All right, I'll see you guys again soon.